This video chart presentation of Q Gold Resources brought to you by All Penny Stocks. Q Gold trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange on the ticker QGR. From a technical standpoint, this is a very nice looking chart. It's in a pretty tight triangle pattern with a nice little cup and handle going on. At this point, when you see this sort of oscillation of making higher and lows and things are getting into a wedge, you're going to expect to see a lot of the same things going on with the indicators. And as you can tell, we're seeing a nice divergence with the MACD, and then there's kind of your wedge look that's going on. Histogram trending back up towards zero. Right through there, telling you that a bullish cross could be coming. You can see when this makes bullish crosses, good things happen. So we're looking at histogram bars to break back through zero, give the bullish cross. Almost identical look to the PPO. This sort of position the ADX is in is neutral, but leaning towards the bullish side. You see that positive DI starting to trend upward. The ADX is in a trading pattern. You'll want to see it turn and rotate and start heading towards 30, break into a true trend with that positive DI moving to the north side. MFI is in a nice position for a move. You can see it's clearly retraced. Right now it's still in a bearish position. When it's down below 50, we reference that as being bearish, and that's because the downtrend is going on with the price per share right now while it's consolidating. 7 and 14 have both broken through the 21. 21 still in a downtrend, but of course it has to factor back in these previous days, so we're going to look for this to continue. We want to see that break through 50, like right through this area, and start trending on the north side to take the MFI into bull chart territory. You see overall a nice uptrend in the accumulation distribution, kind of in a bit of a channel recently, just through this area. Again, all kind of factored into the wedge, the cup, the handle. This chart's really going to come down to those candles and breaking up some trend lines. What we want to see that do is make a new high, though, in the longer term. See back in through this area, shaking money flow, kind of just oscillating back and forth around zero. A little bit of an uptrend back towards zero. Right now, buying and selling pressure is about equal. Again, that's to be expected. We'll look for in that CCI will be something along those lines. We want to see that trend line get broken. See it starting to trend back up. We'll look for this to break through zero, break that trend line. Again, showing a lot of strength and momentum in the stock. Same way with the full still. Broken back down, reset itself, broke through 20, starting to move back north. Again, we'll look for that break of 50 to show momentum coming into the stock. Same look with the full still. Higher lows, lower highs, forming a wedge. We'll look for that to roll and curl and hold over zero. We actually don't want to see that come all the way down to the trend line. Holding over zero during a reset and then rolling back to the north side is very bullish. You see the RSI is just kind of trending right there around 50, middle of the road. With the break to the north, goes right into bull chart territory. See for the most part, all through this area, trending over 50. Strong chart moving up. Again, kind of neutral position, but leaning towards the bullish side. What you see on this, there's your wedge coming right through this area. It's a nice looking symmetrical triangle. The angles are basically the same. Very nice look. We're going to look for that trend line to get broken right there, just about 19. We'll run into a little bit of price per share resistance right there through that 18 area. But that trend line is going to be important because it kind of coordinates with these old highs right through here. So there'll be some minor, what you'd call static resistance. It's not going to move. Trend lines don't move. Price per share, your candles, they don't move. You call those static resistance. Things like the moving averages, they're dynamic. So you hear them referred to as dynamic resistance. So that break through the trend line is going to be kind of a big deal, tied in with some of the candle resistance. A little bit more is going to come in at 22. But what's going to happen is if this can gain some steam, get some momentum behind it, some buying pressure, break through that, the other resistances that'll come in the way that typically might be considered a stronger resistance is actually going to be a little bit weaker, because for it to break through that trend line, that's a big deal. So if it's got the momentum to break through that, chances are pretty good that it's going to break through 22 and try and test this old high. And that theory is supported by the idea of this being a cup and handle. Those that follow our charts know I'm not huge on putting targets on things, because people tend to believe, okay, it's going to there for sure. That's never what we're saying. But putting a target to something through a cup and handle, we take the height of that cup and handle, take the breakout point, add that height to it, which in this particular case would be from 20 to down here at the bottom support at 12. So there's an 8-point difference in through there. So you take the breakout point, add 8 to it. And that breakout point would actually be from this 22. There'd be a trend line right through this area. You can see it would about coordinate with that. So we'll call the breakout point somewhere right around 19, 19.5, which happens to tie in with that symmetrical triangle. So if you added 8 points to that, that would put your target point 8 points higher, which would be 27.5, which then also coordinates with the breakout point and the strong resistance at 25. So from a technical standpoint, this chart has a lot of very interesting things to it that commands a little bit more attention to be paid to some upward movement, some buying pressure. You always look for breakouts to come with volume. So you want to see this breakout, increased volume, a lot of buying pressure, and see where it can go from there. But a very nice look to it, holding over the long-term 50 and 200-day moving averages, which is bullish. You see the 200 days actually coming down. Looks like it's going to curl and try and roll itself upward. 50-day about ready to break through the 200. Again, that's bullish. Some pretty well-defined support right there at 16 as well, which is reinforced again by those long-term moving averages. So we want to keep a close eye on this and see if it can start to make its move north. It's going to meet some resistance at 18 on its way to try and break through that trend line. But overall, for a chart that's in somewhat of a neutral sort of position right now, it really appears to be leaning towards the bullish side. So I think Q Gold is definitely a play I'll be keeping my eyes on. As always, annotated video chart is merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant and strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the allpennystocks.com website to view the full disclaimer disclosure and do not base any investment decisions upon any material found on the website and/or this video chart. No person employed by All Penny Stocks is a registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching and trade smart.